People have been asking me for years to create like a daily educational like VGC system, something they can tune in at a very specific time and watch and learn and then go put the stuff that we worked on into practice. They want structure, right? That's the thing. So I finally got all my T's in a row dotted in a line, and I've created something that we're going to be talking about today that's going to be the blueprint for the rest of this month's streams on Twitch, at least during the weekdays. And hopefully it ends up being something that people find educational and entertaining. I think the biggest thing stopping people from being good at VGC is a lack of information. We're going to be providing that to people. We're going to be providing people with the resources and the knowledge that they need to succeed. B, the next thing that people probably need to be good at VGC in my opinion is the correct mentality to reflect on each game. I think a lot of people just play a million games, right? And they don't ever reflect, they don't ever review, and they don't ever analyze the situation. So we're going to be teaching you guys how to do that. And I'm also going to be doing that for your own games for you. You're welcome. And then the third thing, the last thing that you really need to be somewhat competitive and somewhat good at VGC, at least in most people's opinion, is a sense of community. By doing all this together with all of us live on Twitch every weekday from 2 p.m. PST, which is when the things are going to be starting, through to like 4 p.m. PST, this will give you like other people to like interact with, bounce ideas off of, get into team building groups, go enter tournaments with, and like that's how you get good. That's the secret, is have the knowledge, reflect on it, and grow with your friends. Like that's all you need to be good at this game. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that to the best of my ability. I'm no expert. I have no teaching degree. But I think that we can make something special happen. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Again, all this stuff is stuff we're going to be talking about. It's going to be linked from Patreon. We actually posted 2 Patreon posts today. One was the monthly team submission post for July, which is going to be very important. And the second one was what we're going to be talking about today, which is the announcement of the VGC Masterclass, which is a new series I'm going to be doing. For the rest of July, I'm going to be going with the blueprint here for the Pokemon VGC Masterclass, and these are going to be what my streams are at a very specific time, and the whole point is to like develop like a course or a class or a curriculum that I can use to help you guys develop as players. On Mondays, we're going to be using anti-meta stuff picked by our Patreon. So if there's a Pokemon you want to see me feature, we've recently gotten picks from things like Greninja, Dodrio. A lot of people have been talking about Hitmonlee recently. Is that Chaos Nightmare dropping a sub? Yo, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So on Mondays we do anti-meta teams. And I think it's really important to start with fun stuff on Mondays and end with fun stuff on Fridays. So on Mondays and Fridays we have fun, but through Tuesday through Thursday, that's the real integral part of learning how to have fun the correct way. I think it's so important, right? So on Tuesdays, we're going to be doing Team Fixing Tuesdays. Again, we're pulling again from Patreon where people submit their teams on our monthly team submission post. I'm going to use them in games. I'm going to fix them. I'm going to explain why I made the changes I made. And so that'll teach you guys about team building, about like analyzing the team preview and building the correct teams and showing us how to facilitate those like niche picks that are so popular in our community, right? On Wednesday, we're just going to be using Wi-Fi battles. So this is a little bit different from like anti-meta. Like anti-meta Mondays where we just are on rank. Maybe people can suggest cores that they want to see. A little bit more standard stuff on Wednesday, but I would say still very important because you can't just be like weird and crazy all the time. We're going to be potentially breaking down like standard teams that have done well in tournaments, explaining why they work and kind of breaking down in the team preview process and going down why these teams work and the different lines that you can go through with each team. So I still think the Wednesdays are going to be very important. On to Thursday. This is, I think, the thing that's most important about this series here, and that is going to be the Team Preview Thursday with replay analysis. And so what we're going to be doing on Thursdays is breaking down replays submitted by you guys, the viewers, and talking our way through Team Preview. This is the number one most uncovered, part of competitive Pokemon that no one talks about. There's not really that many videos about this, and I think I have a bunch of really, really good takes on team preview. I think if I were to talk to anyone about the team preview for 5 to 10 minutes, I feel like I can level up your team preview game twofold, threefold, fivefold, and we're gonna be trying to do that every single week. So we're gonna be fixing replays, we're gonna be fixing the team preview, and we're gonna be showing you guys the different lines and different ways you can optimize your own play in between games 2 and game 3 in a best of 3 set. The team preview is so important. Like, I think even though I play a lot of like weird off-meta teams and stuff like that, very rarely do I like lose the team preview phase. There's almost always a way to go into the team preview and have a competitive chance to play the game correctly. So I'm going to try my best to impart that knowledge into you guys as well. And then, since we've gotten through all the hard stuff on Fridays, I'm going to try and do what I've been doing recently, which is using like not fully evolved mons. Like we were using Poochyena and Surskit and just like dump truck in the ranked ladder, putting all the stuff we worked on all week into practice, right? And I think there's a lot of value to be had in using not fully evolved mons. I think like Phantom's really, really cool. People were suggesting like Bergamite and stuff like that, Riolu. There's a bunch of really cool not fully evolved mons, and I think they're definitely worth using on Friday. So you say, do we suggest the Pokemon here? No, that's actually a great question. The place to suggest Pokemon is actually going to be on the Patreon. So this is the full post that I have right here. There's an official submission post for all this stuff, which you guys can check out right here. And if you remember the Patreon, even the lowest tier, the $2 tier, gets access to all this stuff. I want to cover, again, some of the frequently asked questions, and then we're going to go down the list on Patreon, this official post, and kind of break down what we're looking for, and going over what the series is in general. So it says, where can I watch? You can watch it on Twitch TV/THATSAplusONE, and you can watch the highlights on YouTube after I've edited and uploaded them to YouTube. Probably going to take about a couple days. Each stream is going to last about an hour to 2 hours, probably roughly about 90 minutes each one. And then it's going to be starting at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, unless noted otherwise. I think it's a good time for me to do these. I think it's right after people on the East Coast are getting off work. So it's a good time for, I think, everyone to just sit back, max, relax, have some coffee or, whatever beverage suits you right after work and, get to some learning. And then the next question is, how do I get my teams featured or my replays, featured and stuff like that? And that's going to be right here. It says everything will be drawn from Patreon. I've said that a bunch of times before, but even the lowest tier gets access to all this stuff. And I'm not really trying to nickel and dime you guys, but I will say being able to get multiple team fixings per month, because we're doing this every week, multiple replays analyzed, team previews analyzed, lines analyzed, teams flowchart and stuff like that, in addition to being able to influence the pick on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, all that for the price of $2 a month, you will not get that sort of one-on-one input on a high-level Twitch stream for Pokemon anywhere else. You're not going to get that anywhere else. There's not going to be another Worlds player who will sit down and do all that work for you to help you get better at the game for $2. You won't find that anywhere else. The main reason it's on Patreon is because if we did it just on Twitch, we'd have so many people saying, I want to see this. The fact that it's on Patreon and you have to submit these requests early means I can actually build a syllabus and a plan for each day around every single one of these things that we're doing. So it makes it so it's easier to create a class setting if it's all on Patreon. So that's why it's there. Also, it's all going to be mixed in with Discord as well in the Patreon tab of our Discord. But hopefully you guys understand. I'm not trying to nickel and dime you here. It's just it makes it so much easier for me to create a syllabus if we have these things in a submission format, which would be almost impossible to do on a stream. Would Pokebase be enough, or should there be a game rental? No, you can just do Pokepastes. It's fine. What I'm probably going to do is do one of them. I'll do 4 or 5 pastes, and then I'll do 2 rentals. Then I'll kind of batch it up. But I'm the one that gets to organize when and where and which way I want to do it. So let's start reading about this official post right here, where I'm going to go over a bunch of questions. If you guys have any questions in Twitch chat, please feel free to let me know. I want to make this as transparent as possible. I want to create a sort of course that you guys are excited to watch. That's the whole point of this. I want you guys to be excited about learning and developing your own skills as players. I want you guys to help other people get better as well after learning some of the stuff we're going to talk about. So we need everyone on deck for what we're going to be doing here. So I'm just going to read the intro here, and I apologize if I have any typos because, I might. Welcome to Pokemon VGC Masterclass, a stream Pokemon VGC course designed to help players of any skill level learn the correct way to play VGC using their favorites. I think it took me a long time to really hone in on that intro, because I think it's one thing to say, learn how to play VGC, or learn how to play VGC correctly, or learn how to top cut an event or something like that. It's a whole other type of Pokemon VGC content to like learn how to play Pokemon at a high level using your favorites. That's a whole other bag of worms that you cannot be taught on the internet by anyone else how to do that. You have to figure out how to do that. I've figured it out to, I think pretty decent success, and I want to try to input those same techniques into your gameplays as well. This is a brand new show. I'll be streaming live at twitch.tv/THATSAplusONE this month to see if people are interested in a daily educational Pokemon VGC series built around team building and understanding how to make fun Pokemon work at the highest level. I think this is going to be such a good idea. I think everyone's going to be a much better player as a result of these sort of courses, and hopefully you guys agree. Going into the rest of this, the submissions are in the comments for this post. Yes, they are. We're going to get to that at the bottom here. So again, we're just breaking down what we already broke down earlier. Anti-Meta Mondays are Patreon pick the Pokemon they want to see featured. Team Fixing Tuesday is where you guys send in your rentals and Pokepaste, and I fix them live at twitch.tv/THATSAplusONE and give them back. Wi-Fi Wednesday is where we break down why, correct cores work, tournament tested teams, other rentals and stuff like that, and we play relatively standard because it is still pretty important to learn what standard play looks like. Thursday is going to be Team Preview Thursday /replay analysis, where we break down the team preview, we break down replays and show how you could have played a little bit more optimally, how you could have played this a little bit better, maybe you shouldn't have fallen for this feint, or maybe, we go through a bunch of different lines and break down some of your team's flowcharts to give you a better understanding of ways you could have leveraged the team preview to your advantage. And then on Fridays, again, is Not Fully Evolved Friday, where we play the ranked ladder with not fully evolved Pokemon, which is always a good time. So we're going into the next of this. It says all content shown on this course will be driven by supportive members on this Patreon. Members will be able to choose what Pokemon are featured in Anti-Meta Monday, what teams I fix on Team Fixing Tuesday, what standard teams are featured in Wi-Fi Wednesday, what replays and team previews I analyze on Team Preview Thursday, and what not fully evolved Pokemon I highlight on Not Fully Evolved Friday. So this should be a really, really cool idea, and I would really, really recommend anyone that is a member of Patreon, please just leave a comment letting me know on the official post here what sort of mons you want to see for all that stuff. These streams will last about 2 hours and start at 2 p.m. PST on Twitch. Highlights/VODs will be available on YouTube after the stream. So we've already gone over the frequently asked questions, but we're going to keep on going down here. The goal of the series is to help players of all skill levels get a better understanding of the game and, more importantly, have fun doing it. Mondays and Fridays, we will have a blast using anti-meta and not fully evolved teams. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll work on developing the skills required to build those anti-meta teams in the first place. I think it's very cut and dry, very to the point, and I think it's going to be great. The ideas you come up with are amazing. I try my best, right? I try my best. This, like I said, this has been in the works for a little bit. So the new series starts Monday, July 14th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's currently Friday, July 11th, 7/11/2025. So you have a couple days to post some of your Pokemon you might want to see in the comments here. I hope to see all of you on stream next week. So right here is where we're going to be talking about how to submit requests for what you want to see. So this is where I'll be taking submissions for what Pokemon and teams you all want featured next week. We already have a team submission post up for this month, so if you have a team you want me to fix, you can check that out here. If you click this little link right here, it takes you to the team submission post, and we already have a bunch of stuff. You say, will this be uploaded on YouTube? It should be uploaded on YouTube, yeah. It should be uploaded on YouTube. But yeah, we already have a bunch of teams. So I realistically think if we were to work on this for an hour, hour and a half, we're going to be able to get 5 or 6 teams done every single Tuesday. So, and it's easier if they don't have a rental just because we can just pop the paste in, do it quick, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So we already have some teams submitted. I think it's awesome. One of the cool things about this is you guys are going to be able to submit multiple teams a month now. I think that's actually really important. Being able to submit multiple teams a month means if I get through 5 or 6 of them each time, we'll give everyone else multiple chances to do it. So I think it's going to be great. Let's see. The next part is where the fun happens. Leave a comment here filling out these questions, and I'll feature some of the Pokemon in this week's battles. If you have any Showdown replays you want analyzed and fixed on the stream for Team Preview Thursday, be sure to leave those in the comments as well. So for Anti-Meta Monday, just leave a comment saying Pokemon you might want to see for Anti-Meta Monday. Requests we've been asked recently are things like Greninja, Dodrio, and Hitmonlee. I'm pulling those from Twitch and YouTube. So I know there are a bunch of weird anti-meta Pokemon that people want to see and learn how to use correctly. So I'd be doing is using those mons, breaking down the replays, talking about the lines, and helping you guys get a better understanding of my headspace when piloting these teams. So that's, if you guys have any Pokemon you might want to see, let me know in the comments on Patreon. Wi-Fi Wednesday, so you guys might be able to pick some standard cores or things you want explored, or maybe you're someone that doesn't have access to like Calyrex or Zamazenta, and you really want to try Calyrex and Zamazenta to think if you should actually be someone that could buy Sword and Shield to unlock those mons, maybe you want to like see a breakdown of Calizenta to get a good understanding of how that team works as a pilot. You know, we can break down Calizenta and use it there and stuff like that. You say for team fixing, we also need a rental. Nope, for team fixing, you can just do a poke paste. You can just post the poke paste. That's absolutely fine. Bring back the GOAT Gengar. No, Gengar's great. See, Gengar's a great anti-meta mon. You can definitely post Gengar. Post it there right now. Like, Gengar's great. I love to feature Gengar. There's a bunch of different things Gengar can do. And there's a bunch of different teams we might be able to make with Gengar. Very, very cool pick there. Team Preview Thursday. So this is where it gets, I think, a little bit weird. It says, we have 2 to 5 replays as well. Sorry, we have 2 to 5 replays like this as well as what you want help with. Here's an example of what a Showdown replay looks like. If you click the link right here, opens up Showdown. It looks something like this. If you were to play the replay, like, this is what they look like. Just click the save, like, copy replay and, you know, paste from there. You can check up all your replays in the replay tab on Patreon. It's not too complicated, right? So, and this is where we're going to be able to analyze stuff. So we can see like all the mons, we can break things down, like talk about the team preview and what you should be leading, what you should be respecting and stuff like that. There's so much that goes into like analyzing a replay correctly. Not going to get into it here, but that's what we'll be going down. So I've also included some great questions from a member of our Discord going over what sort of replays should be submitted. So they're saying showdown replays, yeah, and what are you looking for, losses? And so that's such a great question. I think that there are honestly a lot more things to learn from losses than there are from wins. But there are always ways to like optimize a win to make it even better and like flowchart that even better. So they say like, you know, if the question of so many replays is like, where did I go wrong in this replay, or what can I do in team preview in your opinion, or here's a funny one. I think all of them are awesome. But if you guys could submit it with the context, that would be really, really good, right? So I'm going to read this here. It says, any sort of replay is welcome. Honestly, there's always more to learn in losses, but it's fun to see a clean win as well. Just be sure to give the context of what's happening in the replay if you can, and try and let me know what exactly went wrong in your opinion that led to you choosing to submit that specific replay for analysis. I think that's so important. Seeing base form Kyurem would be nice. I'll remember to comment that there. Base form Kyurem's good. We can definitely leave that. And I can probably mix a few of those anti-meta picks into like one team. It's a great suggestion. So I was also going to say a poke paste submitted with the team when you submit your replays would help wonders when trying to help, as it would give full context behind each of your Pokemon sets that would lead to better analysis. So like, honestly, you guys can submit a replay, but if I don't have a poke paste or if I don't know like that much about what you're doing, it's really hard for me to say, oh yeah, you should lead this Kyogre without knowing, is it Scarf Ogre? Is it Vested Ogre? Like you gotta give me something to work with. You gotta give me like some context if you want me to analyze and optimize the replay. And if you guys forget to do that, I'll remind you in the comments. What I would recommend though is uploading a best of 3 OTS set that you struggled in, and let me talk through all of your opinions to help you get a better understanding of how you could have better handled the game over the course of a set. So what's really cool about that is we're able to get a good understanding not only of analyzing the replay, talking about what you could have fixed in the replay, talking about what you should have led, but what you should be leading and should be optimizing and changing in between games 2 and game 3. I think that's the number one thing. That's that experience that you don't really have unless you played like a ton of games, learning how to condition people over the course of a set. That's the real value in learning what you could be doing in your replays, understanding your lines and how to like optimize and use them when you need them. Very, very important. So if you guys have like best of 3 OTS sets, that's the thing we're mainly going to be looking to work on in those sessions. So feel free to reach out or let me know if you have any questions here. Creating a daily VGC educational show will be a learning experience for me as well, but I know we can make it work if we work together. So that is what we're, trying to make work here. So to what I was talking about at the start of the stream, right? I want to make the content that I think would actually help people, that I would be excited to watch. And as far as I know, no one makes this content. No one makes it. People just use rentals. People make tier lists. People play really well, but there's no one that breaks it down and delivers it to you guys in a situation that's tailored to your interests, right? If you're someone that's new and you really, really like Meganium, right? And you know everything about Meganium, you know its base stats, you know all its moves, it's your favorite Pokemon. There's no resource for you to learn how to use Meganium better because no one good uses Meganium. I've put in the work to understand Meganium. I've used it at events, I've gotten championship points with it. If there was anyone that could tell you how to use Meganium, I'm your guy. I'm finally like making a series dedicated to like helping you guys understand how to use literally any Pokemon. So there you go. Now there's no paywall for that stuff either. Like people just don't offer those services. That's just how it works. I want to try to offer those services to people. I think I can. There's not a single Pokemon I can't figure out a cool, fun way to use that will be helpful to you guys as newer players. Swords Dance. That's deep. That was the set for Meganium back in, is it Gen 4? Meganium used Swords Dance commonly. I've done it all, man. I've done it all. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Questions, answers, right? What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is going to be a flop? Do you guys think this is going to be helpful? Are you guys excited to see this sort of content? And if not, why not? So we know what to fix. Think it'll be helpful. Good. Trailblazing. Yeah, Trailblaze wasn't even out back then, you know. I'm hyped for this. Just want to get good enough to stream occasionally, but there you go. How can one use Unknown? It's not in the game, so you got an uphill battle right there. But like honestly, probably just like Scarf, Hidden Power, Policy Proc would be it. But it's not in the game. Hidden Power's not in the game. Unknown's uphill battle, but that's right there. Goes pop it off. Scarf, Policy Proc side, you know. So hopefully we can make this work. And if people don't want to submit teams or don't want to submit replays, I guess I could find replays. But basically what I'll be doing on the Tuesdays and Thursdays is a couple hours before the stream, I'll be reviewing a bunch of the replays off stream and going through like a syllabus and creating things and notes that I want you guys to note. So like I'll be building like a course, a syllabus, like I said, for you guys to like follow and understand why these things happen and what we could do differently in the future, given like the tells that each replay has. So if you guys are actually excited to get good at the game, this is all going to be stuff that you could do to get good at the game in a fun and creative and interactive way. And I think it'll be a lot of fun.